So 2008 is the 20th anniversary of the Dodgers defeating the Oakland A's. Tell me what that was like for you as a LA sports guy, being on that team. A lot of people remember Kurt Gibson on time.
Yeah.
You know, that was pretty much the big show, but everyone forgets it was still a 5-game series. He came in relief with Mike Scioscia, who was injured.
Yeah.
And what was that like for you to be back in LA, being able to play sports here again?
It was an opportunity, Paul, that I never thought I'd get. I waited a long time. I had originally talked to Tommy Lasorda about getting an opportunity, but you know, for some reason it got filtered through the cracks somehow, and I didn't get that opportunity until I went down to the stadium myself, and I sat in Fred Clair's office for 3 hours waiting to get an opportunity to talk to him. And word kept coming out he was busy, wouldn't be able to. I just didn't have it in me to quit and to get up and walk out of the office and say, you know, that's it. I stayed there till it got dark, and then Fred had to come out and talk to me because he had to walk right by me. And then we ended up talking for over an hour, and it turned out to be one of the greatest conversations I ever had with any baseball man. Fred Clair was just coming in as the new general manager of the Los Angeles Dodgers, and so we were both kind of in the same boat. We had to prove ourselves and get the job done. It all happened together, so we still have a great friendship. And as we look back on what happened in that 1988, and it was a season of miracles, it really was, because there was so many what we called the stuntmen. They were the backup guys that sat on the bench waiting for an opportunity to play every single day, that took advantage of every opportunity. Had Danny Heap and Gonzalez, Rene Gonzalez, and Franklin Stubbs and myself and Mickey Hatcher, and we made fun out of it. You know, no player likes to sit on the bench and watch the game ever, but we sat there and we talked baseball and we talked situations and what we would do if we got our opportunities. You know, it was a classic year where on paper we couldn't beat anybody, but out on the field we beat everybody, because every time you left the door open, just cracked a little bit, we wedged our way in there and we won ball games, and it was really a lot of fun. Tommy Lasorda was great to be with that year. You know, he was one of those kind of guys that loved to win. He had a passion for winning, and everybody knew what that meant in LA. And to come out here with the movie stars and television and everything like it was, we got a lot of attention as the season went on. We got to meet Billy Crystal, one of my favorites of all time. But all the movie stars would come out there and they started to jump on board with us. You know, they knew our names, and it was so much fun. And then it didn't matter who came in. You know, it was always so much fun to find a way to win ball games. And we got to the end, and then we're up against the Oakland A's. And we knew, well, actually, let me go back to the New York Mets. They were a team that really should have won it all. They were a very strong ball club with Doc Gooden and all of that ball club, and Strawberry and all of them. And they were a team that we tried new things with them. We tried to take the crowd out of the game because it would get so loud, so deafening, and so intimidating in New York while you were there. And it was one little thing I learned during the course of the year, because we had a big meeting before we went into that season. I said, guys, when it gets too loud out there and it gets too intimidating, get up, go to the pitcher's mound, and make the crowd burn out. Let them burn out. And as soon as they burn out and they quiet down, then go back and sit behind home plate, get your thoughts together, and go about your game. It worked. And Mike Scioscia hit an unbelievably great home run against Gooden that day, I'll never forget. And then Kurt Gibson went and made a couple of great catches and another couple of big hits. And we ended up beating. That's where we won the series. But Oakland, you know, with McGuire and Canseco and those two guys, they were really easy to figure out. Because as I sat behind home plate, Mike Scioscia started off the first couple games and hurt his knee sliding into second base. But to see those guys, the kind of adjustments that they made for every pitcher that we had on the mound, they would open that front foot, and if they're looking for the ball middle in, they would close and pigeon toe if they were looking for the ball away. So if you had a pitcher on the mound who could put the ball where he wanted it, had command of his pitches, it was easy to pitch them in when they were looking away and away when they were looking in. And we went through them just like a hot knife through butter. And nobody ever expected we were going to be able to do that. Mickey Hatcher didn't hit a home run all season, hits 2 in the World Series. So, you know, we just had a lot of great things happen. We brought the championship back home to LA. I know that they haven't won a World Series since then, but it was a very, very special year.
And that changed for you too, because you were back in LA. How did some of your relationships and ties to Crespi and being a sports star in LA, how did that change for you there towards the end of your career?
Well, it didn't change really much. It just got me an opportunity to be reunited with a lot of these people. You know, Tom Jackals, who was a very dear friend of mine in school, he was a little left-handed pitcher that we had on our ball club, and Dave Seenum was one of, you know, he was outstanding college pitcher and an outstanding high school pitcher. And players like that, you know, would filter around and they would still be interested in sports. And so we just connected again, and it was so much fun because I was now doing something that they dreamed of doing their whole life. I was very fortunate to stay healthy for that long a period of time in Major League Baseball, and just being able to come back around again. And you know, people look at you differently when you're in professional sport. They put you up on a pedestal. You just can't forget how fragile that really can be, so you don't get too big a head or something. But it was so much fun being able to see everybody that was involved with Crespi for so many years, because we had a lot of great memories here. Now, one of the greatest memories that I have really are the two coaches that had the biggest influence on me, and even in today's game. Well, Bill Leeds, he was our track coach.
Right.
Bill had died a couple of years ago, but you know, he instilled in us a work ethic that is unmatched in Major League Baseball. I still, and I'm not patting myself on the back, I'm still, I look around Major League Baseball and there's nobody who worked like I worked to stay there. And nobody who can work, because Bill was tough. He was tough out there on the field. He pushed you to a point where you thought you were going to die every single day. And later on you came to terms with work and what hard work really meant. You know, and I know I'm not an educated guy as far as college is concerned. All my education came right here at Crespi. You know, it's really basically what's taken me through my entire life. And the work ethic of being able to go out on the field and push yourself, maybe last 24 seasons in the major leagues. There's only 2 catchers that ever did that, and only 17 people that ever did it in the entire major league time in history. And I'm very proud of that. And it's all because of the work ethic. And John Becker, who was the football coach there for quite a while here, who went on professional sports himself. And John had a great influence on me. He was tough also, very tough. And he knew when we weren't given 100% all the time. And John had a softer side to him than Bill Leeds did. And we communicated and have stayed close friends all through these years. And we talked about professional sports. And you know, he was just a great guy to be around and a hard-nosed guy. And those 2 guys made a tremendous influence on my attitude as far as work ethic is concerned, because that's exactly what's kept me in the major leagues, is wanting to win. And how important that is at the major league level. It's all about wins and losses. The rest of it you can forget about. But that work ethic and that mental discipline, I learned it here. And I don't think there's any better place to learn it.
But that's very true, because I seem to think that has carried on about all the sports. I mean, you look at baseball now,
yep.
Football, and recently their track team winning a championship as well this past season. You know, it's something that is totally carried on at the school, and I think you're one of the first classes that helped set up that foundation. So that's probably why we've inducted you in the Hall of Fame. But where do you see yourself in the history of the great Los Angeles sports market? I mean, there's been so many athletes that have come in and out of Los Angeles and had an impact. But where do you see yourself fall into that?
Well, you know, I'm just a part of the puzzle piece. That's all it was. You know, in professional sports, it's about working together with all of your teammates and getting the job done. Because if everybody works together, it's very, very tough to beat you. And you learn that quickly. You know, I learned it here in high school. It's not about one individual thing, because as you look through the major leagues and you'll see when a team focuses on one player and the focus is all on him, they can't win. They can't win. You've seen A-Rod, who was with the Texas Rangers for so many years, always the last place team. And the minute they got rid of A-Rod, the focus went to everybody on the ball club, and they won a championship and got into the playoffs. The same thing with Ken Griffey Jr. up in Seattle. You know, a great Hall of Fame player, you know, going on 600 home runs. But they couldn't win when the focus was on one guy. The minute that Griffey got away from Seattle, they won a divisional title, because now everybody on the team realizes that they're important too. And that's what professional sports is all about. It's not individual. It's not about I, or me. It's about us and the team. And I know that sounds kind of corny, but you know, I've got 24 years in the major league, 6 divisional titles, 3 World Series, you know, and I know that the only way it can be done is if everybody is on the same page together and works together. And that's pretty much like it's always been here at this little Crespi High School, where we had 500 kids. I don't even know how many kids we have in the program here today. with the coaching staffs that are constantly beating that into you every single day, you forget about yourself, and it becomes team. And in everything in life, it's team. And that's the only way that I've made it, and all around. And I coached in the minor leagues, and I managed in the minor leagues, and I've coached at the major league level. And the 1 year that I won the Pacific Coast League Championship was my second year managing a team for the Los Angeles Dodgers. And we instilled that same thoughts in all of their minds, and I was happy to be part of that, to see how they all played together and know how important that really is. So now I'm still looking for my first opportunity to manage the Baltimore Orioles.